Jihad is defined as a struggle or fight against the enemies of Islam, or even an internal struggle against sin. Someone in charge of a jihadist group is leading a war of sorts against anyone who opposes them or Islam. Through his skills as a communicator, Osama bin Laden developed and led a jihadist organization in Afghanistan that made war upon the Soviet Union and the United States, culminating in the September 11th attacks on the World Trade Center. By using business methods and his control of a terrorist organization, he managed to convey that America was an all-powerful empire that put their enemies, Israel, at an advantage, and supported countries that would collapse if America had done nothing. He also managed to convey that terrorism against the U.S. does work, as demonstrated by the 1983 Lebanon Marine barracks bombings and the 1993 Somalia troop attacks. In 1988, bin Laden and others created Al-Qaeda, a jihadist organization based on holy war against the Soviet Union. It was this organization that, under bin Laden, orchestrated and carried out the 9/11 attacks on the Twin Towers, the Pentagon, and the attempt on the White House. It was created to attempt to combat the Soviet Union takeover of Afghanistan in the 1970s, although they soon set their sights on the U.S., attacking American soldiers and even citizens. Osama bin Laden, after his co-creator Abdullah Azzam was killed in a car bombing, was left as the sole leader of Al-Qaeda and set his sights on removing the U.S. from Israel, the Muslims' enemy, and eventually overthrowing the U.S. entirely, using terrorism.
On September 11, 2001, 4 American passenger planes were hijacked by Al-Qaeda operatives. 2 were flown into the Twin Towers, 1 into the Pentagon, another one was headed for the White House. But some passengers reclaimed the plane and crashed it into Pennsylvania. 2,977 people lost their lives in the attack. 2,763 people in New York, 2,360 civilians from 78 different countries, 343 firefighters and paramedics, the 23 New York police officers, 37 Port Authority police officers, while 189 people were killed in the Pentagon, including the 64 on Flight 77 and the 44 people lost their lives on the Flight 93 when it crashed in Pennsylvania.
Just before 10 a.m., a call comes through from the Vice President.
I could hear a noise on the phone. I looked around, and I could see that the desk in front of me was shaking. I didn't know what that was. People going under the desk. I heard the chief of the department yell, "The tower has come down. The tower has come down." It looked like nuclear cloud, this like gray smoke coming toward the building. Things flying through the street, things hitting the side of the building, and then all of a sudden it became dark outside. It went totally dark outside.
Department and the Division 6 acting, K, urgent. Division 6 acting, go. All right, you'll respond down to the World Trade Center. You're to maintain radio communication and advise Manhattan Dispatch what exactly is going on, K. We are unable to make any kind of communication.
It collapsed. The top floors collapsed down. I saw it blow and then ran like hell. Thank God. I'm 69, but I can still run. There's got to be firemen trapped back there, though.
When the chief said the tower came down, I didn't think he meant the entire Twin Tower. There are big radio towers on the top. And I thought those towers had come down and hit our building.
The 10-second collapse instantly kills hundreds of civilians and emergency personnel.
With this loud thunder, we looked up and the top of half of the building was actually coming down like dominoes, and it just fell over to the left. And everybody started running. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare.
The team that helped execute the attack were people that bin Laden had managed to train into essentially suicide bombers, as no one aboard the planes commandeered in the 9/11 attack survived. Mohammed Atta, one of the suicide pilots of Flight 11, trained in an Al-Qaeda camp in Afghanistan and got his pilot's license in Florida. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, an operational planner from Kuwait, had planned some of the previous terrorist attacks against America, including the Bojinka plot and the 1993 World Trade Center bombings.
Osama bin Laden was such a persuasive speaker that he created a situation where people thought dying for his cause was the right thing to do. For example, the 9/11 plane hijackers knew they were going to die and thought it was the right thing to do, to help out win the jihadi. But all they did was bring the wrath of the U.S. upon them. However, not all of them went out in a blaze of glory. One plane was supposedly headed for the White House, but the passengers of the plane did not allow that. They retook control of the plane and brought it down in a field in Pennsylvania. Another plane did hit the Pentagon, but because one, the structure, and two, where it hit, the damage was as bad as it could have been. There was not as many deaths as there could have been, along with non-extensive injuries. Osama bin Laden was a genius, but he employed his intelligence towards the wrong ends. He helped create Al-Qaeda, which went on to orchestrate one of the worst attacks in U.S. history, before being killed by the Navy by SEAL Team 6. Even though Al-Qaeda is still active today, it hasn't tried to pull another attack of that magnitude. Also, this provides that he has people that believe in his cause to fight for him, to train for him, and do anything to make sure that they might be the reason they failed. But they followed him blindly to the end. This shows how well he could speak and how well he could convince complete strangers to die for him.